There's something about standing at the very edge of the ocean that makes you realize how small you really are. I still remember those sunny days at Nobska Beach in Woods Hole, that same stretch of sand where my grandfather Charlie would bring me every single year. To this day, if I close my eyes, I can still hear him pointing out the window of this old woody station wagon. Almost there, buddy. Almost to our spot. My grandpa was a marine biologist, and he could make the tiniest little sea creatures sound like the greatest miracle in the universe. See that little hermit crab, he'd say? God designed him to know exactly when to find a bigger shell. He never stays stuck in a space that's too small for him and for who he's becoming. I've carried those words with me throughout every stage of my life, through the successful stages, through the failures, through the joys, through the heartbreak, through moments of faith and moments of doubt. I remember one summer when I was like 11 years old, I got caught in this crazy, scary undertow. That terrifying moment when you realize that water is so much stronger than you are. My feet got swept up, left the sand, and for a few seconds, complete terror panic took over. Then I felt my grandfather's hand on my arm, pulling me back to safety. Later that day, he told me something that I'll never forget. He said, "The ocean's power isn't meant to harm you, but you do need to respect it." Lately, I've been thinking about that conversation in relationship to God's love. I think so often I picture God's love as something gentle and passive, like sunlight streaming through a window. But what if it's actually more like those waves? Powerful, persistent, sometimes overwhelming, never stopping. We all make mistakes. I've made plenty that nobody sees. Failed relationships, times that I just wasn't the father I should have been for Carter and Alina, moments when my pride got the better of me. And in those darkest moments, the times when I'd been certain I'd drifted too far, I discovered something profound about God's grace. It just keeps coming, wave after wave after wave. Now I get to bring my children to that very same beach, Nobska Point. Lighthouse is still there and everything. Carter's 12 now and Alina's 10, and watching them experience this place brings everything to the most beautiful full circle. Last summer, Alina spent hours building an elaborate sand castle at Nobska. With her creative spirit, decorated it with shells and feathers, built a moat and a bridge. It was truly a masterpiece. Then as evening approached, the tide started coming in. I watched her face as she realized what was about to happen. The first wave just dampened the outer wall a little. The second wave filled the entire moat, and by the third wave, her beautiful creation was completely devastated. I waited for tears of frustration, a mini meltdown that seemed reasonable when something you'd worked so hard on just instantly got washed away. But instead, she stood there looking with this expression of wonder. When the castle was completely gone, she turned to me and said something I was not expecting. It's okay, Dada Man. The ocean gets to take it back. We can build another one tomorrow." The simplicity of her acceptance got to me. How many times do I cling to things that need to just be washed away? How often do I resist the very waves of grace that are coming to clear the shore for something new? In Romans 8, Paul writes something that's always challenged me a bit. Neither height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God, end quote. When I was younger, I read that as a cool sentiment, a comforting and colorful thought. But standing at the edge of the Atlantic, watching those reckless waves, I understand it differently now. God's love isn't just a warm feeling, it's a force. It keeps coming. It keeps reaching, keeps washing over our mistakes and our failures. It's not to punish us, but to reshape the shoreline of our lives. Back pain's been a part of my daily life for decades now. Some mornings, it's all I can do to get out of bed, right? I know there's millions of people that can relate. There was a time when I was just angry about it, where I felt like God had just forgotten me or probably was somehow punishing me. But as cliche as it sounds, through the struggle, I discovered something important, that even physical pain can't separate me from God's love. Those waves keep coming, even on the days that I can barely stand. You know, in New England, we understand something about weathering storms, about endurance, about hope that outlasts the harshest winters. We're just coming out of one now. I remember my grandfather used to say, that's why God gave us the ocean, to remind us that some things never stop, no matter the season. Whatever you've broken in your life, whatever mistakes feel unredeemable, the waves are still coming for you, not to drown you, not to punish you, but to refresh and restore you. Grandpa Charlie loved to quote an old hymn, "The tide of his mercy flows boundless and free." I didn't fully understand that until I became a father myself. The things that my children could do that make me stop loving them simply don't exist. And if I, flawed and limited as I am, can love like that, how much more does the creator of these oceans love you and me? Every morning at Nobska Beach, the waves cleared away the footprints of the day before. Every sandcastle, every mark. That's exactly what God's love does for us. Not once, but every single day. Wave after wave after wave. You are loved beyond your mistakes, beyond your failures, beyond your understanding. And just like those waves at Nobska Beach, God's love will never stop coming for you. When you feel like maybe you've drifted too far, my friend, try to remember my grandfather's words about the hermit crab. You're never stuck in a shell that's too small for who you're becoming. And God's love, like those relentless waves, will always find you wherever you are. Hey, my friend, my name's Adam with Faith Labs. We do daily devotionals and prayers for busy Christians. So hold on, we don't have a marketing budget, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification and the like and all that stuff. It really does mean the world to me, and it sometimes helps people who needed to find a message like this today. Again, my name's Adam. Thanks for being here. Onward, my friend, and God bless you.